Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to talk about the release. It's one of those items that I seem to be asked about the most frequently. How do I release the golf club properly? In reality, when I look around, I see so many different definitions of what it is. And when you ask different golfers what it means and what they're trying to do when they release the club, they all have some different ideas, some different expectation of what it is they're trying to achieve. So let's just try today and make it all a little bit clearer for the vast majority of you. Now, some of the things I hear in terms of release is golfers say to me, well, when I hit the golf ball, I'm trying to let the club head overtake the hands like so, and this is going to give me speed and accuracy. This is why I'm slicing. I'm slicing because I'm not releasing, so I need to go like this the most. I need to rotate my forearms. I need to let the club head overtake the hands. Typically, that's what golfers say to me when they're talking about a release. They ask that question because they are slicers of the golf ball and they have been told somewhere, or they think that by doing something like this, that's going to help their slice. Now, of course, as so often is the case, what seemingly can make sense in the golfer's mind isn't actually how things work. So just in terms of dispelling any notions that align with this notion of a release, if I'm in position and I start to release the club shaft in that sense, if I try and start to get it to roll over like so, then what happens to the club shaft as I come down is you start to see the club head move off the plane, off the inclined plane, off the pitched roof that it lies on, and the club head moves to the outside, and from there it makes it out to in. Furthermore, as the golfer tries to release like this, tries to roll the forearms, what happens to the club head? It overtakes the hands, the club shaft leans backwards, and the golfer then is hitting the golf ball without enough of a forward-leaning shaft, with too much loft on the face, and the golfer starts to hit back on the ground excessively, leading to fat and thin shots. So fat and thin shots with a out to in path. So suffice to say, that is not what the release is. So what's really happening during the golf swing? What is it we're trying to do? So Golfing Machine speaks about accumulators, and if we go through that list, you have number one, the bending and straightening of the trail arm. So just to illustrate the concept, what happens is at setup, your trail arm is in a certain position. Here it has probably 10 degrees or so of flexion. And as I make the backswing, that will start to flex more so that I get to the top of my swing and there's maybe 110 to a 90-degree angle between my humerus and my forearm right here. So I've started with it in this position, top of the backswing, it's bent to this position. What needs to happen during the downswing is that I'm going to seek out the position it's started in and even go past that point. So you are loading, taking this out of line, and then unloading it, taking it back to inline. So that's one of the motions, it's the right arm. The second accumulator is the left wrist, the hinging up and down of the left wrist, like so. So radial deviation, ulnar deviation. So radial, ulnar. So during the backswing, there's some radial, not nearly as much as people think because we have a limited capacity to do this, just physically. And then ulnar during the downswing. So you take it out of line and then in line. And this is a source of power. Number three, you have the lead arm, pronation, supination. Take it out of line, take it in line. And again, if I just did that motion by itself, on its own, I could hit the ball some distance. Number four, you have the lead arm working back across the chest. So that's the lead arm horizontally adducting and the shoulder flexing during the backswing in order to take the left arm out of line and then you have to return it to inline during the downswing. So what do I mean when I talk about release? It's those 4 accumulators, those 4 sources of power that you're taking out of line during the backswing and then taken back to inline during the downswing and to the follow through. It's very important that you have the correct notion in mind that when you're doing this, as you hit the golf ball, you're going to have this look past the ball. In follow through position, I've taken them out of line, I've brought them back to inline, I've released them, they're now in line, and I have the butt end of the club here that's going to disappear behind my body before the club head. I still have the bend in my trail wrist, the extension in my trail wrist. As I look at this from this view, you'll notice I still have the lead arm and club shaft in line, the extension in the trail wrist. So there is no case where I'm trying to actively rotate the forearms like this so that the club head actually overtakes the hands. That is a major golfing no-no. So I'm trying to do this, take my accumulators out of line, back to inline. This is me having released the club. This is what a release visually looks like. Make sure you have a clear picture in this in mind so you don't get confused by all these pictures that you see. Even a very typical picture is when the golfer ends up at P9, arms parallel to the ground. You see a golfer in this position and you say, I can definitely see that left hand underneath the right hand. That golfer has released. If I swivel around, you'll notice that actually I still have left arm and club in the straight line, and I haven't gone like so. I'm right here. So really, once more, have this picture in mind. If I'm going to hit a golf shot, I take my accumulators out of line, back to inline, and this is what it looks like. In terms of ball flight, I have this expectation once more for this ball that starts a little bit right, then a little bit to the left. And I feel like, according to the typical notion golfer has, I feel like I've achieved this with no release. So I haven't drawn the ball like this because I've rotated the club head like this through the ball. And believe me, that ball is only on the club face for 1/2000th of a second. There's really not a lot you can do. As long as your club head is moving out to the right, your face is close to the path at the moment of impact, you get this curve. So again, I'm going to do this one more time. The typical no release version of a swing, but in actual fact, I am absolutely releasing because I am straightening, unhinging, rotating, and bringing the arm down. So I'm in position, I load, I unload right here, and we should see that ball curve to the left. In this case, I definitely have the club face pointing left as I stroke the ball. I'll do it one more time. And you can still see the club head, hopefully, on this picture. You can still see how rotated open it is, so to speak. So I haven't swiveled it around that way. And I've still got that ball curving to the left. I still wasn't happy with that shot, so let me do it one more time. Again, you can see there's very little roll, and that ball starting to the right and curving back to the left. It feels like no release. It absolutely is a release. I'm right here. So again, make sure you have this concept in your mind. When you're trying to release the club, it's not this. It's the release of the accumulators. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you did enjoy the content, then please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. That way you won't miss any of my future golf tips, and you will therefore improve your golf. If you have any questions, then please put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And again, if you'd like to work with me, you can do so either online through the Skillist app or in person. Happy golfing.